Good evening. Welcome to my channel, Paying the Ferryman 777, or indeed welcome back if you've been watching my videos. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. If it's your first time, I'd recommend going back to the first one in this playlist so you can understand the story. I want to go straight into it. I did promise I'm going to make my videos shorter and more concise and stop saying all the time. So yeah, no, it's a process. I'm trying to be better. I want to get straight into it. I'm going to talk about the next couple of rituals that I participated in, ayahuasca rituals. I learned a lot in these rituals, and it was in fact the first time I went to another place, another tribe, to take or to consecrate ayahuasca. We met a few friends. We made some new friends. They were people that my husband knew from the past, and they happened to be in that shamanic ayahuasca world, and they invited us to visit their tribe, their center, and it was called the Golden Eagle, this center. And we thought, okay, that'd be cool, something different, something new. We can go there and see what that would be like. So we didn't go to where we would normally go on that weekend, and we went to this other tribe. And it was a different experience to what I had been accustomed to in my tribe, the place that I had started to become quite fond of and attached to. The structure of the ritual was a little bit different, and the setting was quite different. It wasn't, let's say, as beautiful or as comfortable as where I had been going. The ritual was themed after Archangel Michael. Again, like in other rituals, you have your processes, you have your moments, you have your cleaning and that type of thing. You have your insights and your visions and whatnot. But what was really different, I suppose, in this ritual was that I was propelled or sent into a darkness, into a spiral of negativity. I had been accustomed to, in previous rituals, to receiving my guides, right? To receiving these spirit guides, incorporating them, and then letting them work through me during the rituals. I had previously come to the conclusion that I'm working here, I'm helping people, and my guides are coming to do what they do to help others. And I was enjoying that. Oh, this is great. This is giving me meaning. I'm helping people, and I'm enjoying it at the same time. And I loved receiving them. Imagine, like, you're receiving these evolved spirits who have different skills, different ideas, different ways of moving, but they're using you to do it. So, like, the dances and the movements and the feelings that come from them, I suppose maybe it was a little bit intoxicating for me, and I had still been getting used to that. Like, it was only 10 rituals so far, and this one in the new place was ritual number 11, so it's still relatively new, even though a lot had happened. But yeah, during the ritual, I had my same sensations when the energy of my guides come, starting to vibrate a lot, my whole body with this energy. What they do, the guides, these evolved spirits, they actually sort of push energy into you to raise your vibration. So this causes you to actually vibrate, right? They're really high vibration. They're not dense here in the physical world. They're evolved and they're high vibration. So they're like pushing their energy into you to raise your vibration. And at the same time, they're lowering their vibration so that they can connect with you. So that's what that is. It's when you're vibrating, they're trying to pull you up, and then they're coming down, and then they're meeting you in the middle, essentially, so that they can connect and make that incorporation happen. So I started to feel that during the ritual, and I'm like, okay, here they come, and I feel one coming, and I know who it is. It's that indigenous spirit, caboclo spirit, and I'm like, yes, all right. I love this dude. He's so happy, and he's always makes me feel really good. And when he was coming, the driver of the ritual, the person who was conducting the ritual, the owner of this tribe, or at least the person who was uh, in charge of doing this ritual. It was a very small place. There wasn't many people there. And she came over to me and she's like, no, mm-mm. No, you can't incorporate here. I was like, oh, okay, and this kind of shocked me, because I'm in the middle of this moment where it's really cool and I'm enjoying it, and then she just like cut me off, and I was like, okay, and I had to hold myself and just kind of pull myself to stillness, to be more, like rigid. And I was like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? And I went into this egotistical vibration. I was like, well, like, who are you to tell my guides, to tell these spirits what to do, whether they can come or not? I don't think it's nice to have essentially a party, a spiritual event, and then when spirits come to do work or to help, they're not allowed. And I got really like upset. I got really negative. I got really angry. I started to stew. And I was like, well, no, I don't like this place anymore. Don't like this way of doing things. And I kind of went into like a really dark place. And I just kind of sat back and I was like, well, I'm not interested in this shit anymore. This isn't good. And I had this process, egotistical process, and I got really dark, really angry. I didn't express it. I wasn't doing stuff, but I was feeling like really annoyed and stuff like that. Even so much so that I was like whispering to my husband, like, I don't like this place. What the fuck? Can we go? Can we leave? You can't leave during a ritual. It's not okay. You have to wait until the end. But I was like, fuck it, let's go. I want to go. I don't want to stay here anymore. It's really mean. It's really rude not to let them come and blah blah blah. In my ignorance, all of this was in my ignorance, of course. So I was in this negative place, in this dark place, and I didn't like it at all. And this continued for quite some time. It was really awful. I lied down. I just kind of went on my side for a while. I wasn't really interested anymore, to be honest. It wasn't until the girl who invited us there, really beautiful girl, inside and out, she started to sing. So the music stopped in the ritual, and she got into the middle, and her boyfriend was there playing guitar. And as soon as she started to sing, it was like the voice of an angel. And all the darkness that I was feeling, all of the heaviness that was surrounding me, it just lifted. And in fact, the light, the level of light increased, and the whole room became bright. It became light around her. And she just dispelled the darkness with her voice, with her beautiful voice. And I started to feel good. I started to be like, okay, what was all that about? Let's come back to center here. Let's see what the lesson is. See, so I got a bit lost in this negativity, and then she brought me out of it with her voice, with her amazing voice. It shows you the power of our voice, the power of what we say. People that things said in anger, they really are destructive. But on the contrary, singing with love can just change everything, right? We know that. We can hear a song and it can move us to tears, So she pulled me out of that vibration, that negative vibration, and I started to feel good. I started to feel good, nice again. Like, oh, okay, maybe this is okay. Maybe Maybe I judged too fast. Maybe I should have had more respect for the way this place does things and their rules about that. And perhaps there's a lesson in this. What's the lesson? And I started to analyze, um, and I started to understand. Okay, so maybe it's better sometimes to not just incorporate and see how I can help. Maybe I need to just sit and focus on me. Maybe that's okay. Maybe, I should be looking inside more instead of looking out to see who I can help, because I had really been enjoying helping people and doing the incorporations and letting the guides work through me. It's really fun. So yeah, I had these realizations. I was like, okay, what's the lesson here? The lesson is that it's okay to look after yourself too. You have healing to do. You have things to learn, you know? Um, and it was a lesson in that. It was a lesson in respect, you know? It was a lesson in just because you got used to something being done in this particular way, you got used to rituals being in a certain way, and you go to another place and they're done in a different way, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's just different. I think there's a lesson in that for us, that we get used to things in a certain way, in our way, and then when we see it done a different way, we say that's wrong, but it's not wrong. It's just different. Doesn't mean your way is wrong. It's just different. So that was a really good lesson in like respect for the house, the center, the tribe that I was visiting and their rules, and also respect for myself. That it's okay to take a ritual to look inwards, to look after yourself, to focus on your healing, your well-being. That's what it's all about, right? We're here in a journey for our own growth and our own evolution. So that's what I learned. It was a really strong lesson. It was difficult also, because the darkness that I went into, my own darkness that I brought out, that I created, lasted quite some time during that ritual. So much so I wanted to get the fuck out of there. But yeah, I learned respect. I learned to center myself. I learned to take care of myself and focus inwards too. And that it's not always all about guides coming. Yeah, you can do that. Great. Well done. But what else? What else is there? There's more. There's more. Spirituality is infinite, right? God is infinite. And that was such a big lesson, that there's so much more, and you don't always need to be active helping, you can do that, but there's also a time for you, and you clearly have stuff to learn. Look at all that darkness that we were able to pull out of you through this process. So that's what happened. It was like my healing through that process. I got angry, I got egotistical, I got negative, but after I learned respect, I learned humility, I learned a little bit more self-love, which was definitely necessary for me. If it wasn't, none of that would have happened, right? So yeah, her voice, this girl's voice, just brought me out of the darkness, which was a really powerful lesson about vibration, people's vibration, what power we have with our intentions, with our hearts, and how we vibrate, and how we can affect others by that vibration, and then how that can even be amplified by speaking that out or singing that out, like mantras, like when people repeat mantras, that's a powerful tool, right? The word, the voice is incredibly powerful. It's vibration at the end of the day, and we can use vibration to heal, we can use vibration to hurt, I think if people knew more about that, or understood that a little bit better, we wouldn't be so fast to judge and to allow ourselves to get into cycles of feeling negative towards people, and feeling judgmental, or those types of negative things. we can really affect each other and the world around us with our intentions and with our voice. It's incredibly powerful. So that was a really, really strong lesson for me in this ritual. Another thing that I didn't know at the time, but that I would find out soon after, was that going to that place would start a process, a very difficult process that would begin the loss of my, let's call it, spiritual innocence, right? I would start to discover that there's a rivalry between people and tribes, and I would get myself stuck in the middle of that. It was the start of understanding that there was. I started to understand that not immediately, or I suppose it started the process of understanding certain aspects of people, of humanity, of these spiritual people, these priests and priestesses, shamans, magicians who were doing these rituals, and the darker aspects of them. I didn't know at the time, but this would kickstart a process of jealousy, of rivalry, of being prized by these places because you bring in money. You bring in money, and these places want to survive also. So I started to see after this, not at the moment, but after this, that there was a certain aspect, certain cultish aspects to this that were not so evident on the surface. It's all love and light on the surface, but there is other motives. There were other motives that I would come to discover later about these centers. I got stuck later on in between these two places. Or at least I got stuck in a process that wasn't mine, but that was between the people who ran the tribe I was accustomed to going to and these people who ran this tribe. Essentially, they were enemies, and I didn't know that by going there. And by going there, it was almost like I was betraying my tribe, and they didn't like that. And when I was there, I discovered that because they at the end of the ritual, the owners of that place started to badmouth the place that I would go to. They started to badmouth my tribe, and it was the beginning of the loss of spiritual innocence, if I can call it that, because until then I was like, oh, we're all on the same journey. We're all trying to heal. We're all helping each other heal. That center doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as if there's more centers, isn't it better? Because then more people can go there and heal. Why the rivalry? Why the competition? What, So this would be the beginning of certain processes that would get quite dark, spiritual battles, spiritual wars that I got stuck in the middle of, and that ended up really that ended up actually kind of harming my process, harming my life. At least that's how I saw it at the time. Again, even from a bigger perspective, that's part of the process, but it was the beginning of this aspect of the process, the path that I was on. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I promised I would make the video shorter to make them a little bit more bite-sized for people, to make them a little bit easier to digest. But thanks for watching. Tune in for the next one, and peace. Love you.